Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host today. Today is 12th of April 2023, and as usual we would start with introductions, but from the participants list I don't see any newcomers, so we can continue with the reminders. So the first reminder is that if you feel that your organization would benefit from adding itself as an adopter, then please do so. You can follow the link in the document to the Metal3 docs and to the adopters.md file, and you can change that. We would be grateful if you would extend that list. The second one is the incubation proposal. This will move to a Google document in the future to make it more accessible for the community, as I got some feedback last time that it would be something beneficial. But regardless, until then, feel free to comment on the HackMD document if you feel so. Then the last one is what I hope we'll touch today, is the agenda for and the planning of the PTG, the project team gathering for our project. Probably you have seen the email that I have sent, but I will show it in the discussion also. Yep, so I guess we can continue with the discussion topics. What I plan is that I will just quickly mention the PTG and the kiosk, and then we can jump into the BMO branching, because I think that's something that's even more urgent than the PTG, at least for us. So what I wanted to show you, but I hope you have seen it, is that I've sent an email to the community. If you have not received it, then please just go to the Metal3 Bio Google group and you can read it there. Basically, today I want to officially start the planning for this project team gathering event. That means also that we would figure out dates and topics. I have linked the document with some ideas that what can be brought to this PTG, and I have seen that folks already started adding to it, extending it. Everyone who is a member of the mailing list can or should be able to edit this, and yep, please feel free to do so. I'm not sure that, or rather I don't think that today we will finish with this topic. I'm fine if we take it over multiple community meeting, the planning. The most important thing would be that in the coming, like let's say until the end of April, we figure out a date or dates, because I'm fine if this event takes or spans across multiple community meeting or multiple days. It's up to the community. So yeah, let's start discussing it today. The other thing is that the Metal3 IO project, or the Metal3 project, will have a kiosk in Amsterdam on the European KubeCon this year, and you can find the floor plan code in this description. It's K21. It will be in the morning shift, in the AM shift. So we will share it with, I believe, the Open FPGA or something like that project. Yeah. Okay. So we can turn back to the PTG planning after the BMO branching, and I ask you, Kashif, to please continue.
Thanks, Adam. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss about the issue that Tuomo brought into the last week's community meeting regarding the branching of BMO. Like it has been lately become difficult to actually maintain everything in the main branch, specifically when it comes to patching vulnerabilities plus recently, like currently we are seeing that there has been some non-backwards compatible changes in the main branch, and because of that the older release branches started to fail. So of course this is a opportunity to fix the CI, but then for at least for the future it would be really good if we can do proper branching, and the maintenance specifically from the vulnerabilities aspect would be easier. But we wanted to know specifically what's the um, understanding about this from Red Hat, because there was some issues discussed that it was not suitable for them. Or any thoughts, suggestions, ideas on that would be good. Was I audible or?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
you were. I will just bring up the current releases. Maybe this helps the discussion, or if you want me
Yeah,
to show anything.
no, basically the thing is that, for example, we are releasing let's say CapM3 or IPAM, and when we are releasing CapM3, we have different branches and that supports BMO releases with tags now currently. But when it comes to the main branch, we are adding new features as well as the vulnerability fixes. Now, when we want to do a release, we have to take everything in, and then we tag it again currently. And what for the older release branches, it's really an issue that shall we just take also the new features of PMO, and then if those are okay. So the best way for us would be that if we have release branches, then we can just let's say whenever there is a breaking change, we just go one minor version up, as we have stated in the release document or in BMO. And for other stuffs like small bug fixes or vulnerability patches or whatever is needed for the older releases, we can do that pretty easily. I don't know, like Dimitri or others. Ricardo, do you have any idea? Uh, what was your you were supposed to discuss something, I guess, as you said last week.
So sorry for interrupting a bit. I wasn't here last week, but is the question basically how much we want to continue support for older releases? Is that like the basic question, that we want to continue supporting this 0.2 minor
The idea,
release?
no, it's mainly that we want to introduce now release branches in BMO as well. That was the main proposal. So currently we are doing all the releases from main branch.
Yeah. So basically, we want to continue supporting the minor release we have, 0.2, by adding patches on that while we still continue on the main branch.
Yeah.
So suggestion would be that we support one minor release for now or more.
Yeah, that is also, for example, that we can decide that how many minor releases we would support. I don't have any suggestion for that, but as a first step, I would want to at least introduce the release branches.
Yeah, probably one is good for now.
So if I can add one thing, so I'm just looking at the points in the document. So for the first one, hard to implement any breaking change, especially security change. I don't think we necessarily need to branch BMO for that. We have releases, right? That's correct. So once we release something, if we want to implement a breaking change, then we just release before doing the breaking change. There's no need to have branching for that.
No, but when it comes to security, I mean, like, for example, you have some patches for vulnerabilities, let's say in Go modules.
Yeah.
And for that, you don't want the other commits that have landed in main branch. You only need to fix those. Currently, it's not possible.
I'm
you
sorry.
have to take all the other commits that are in the main branch. On top, you will add the vulnerability fix, right?
Yes, yes. But if you branch, then you will have to backport all the changes. So the security change to all the branches that you have before, not only the main one.
Yeah, backporting is, I think, a standard way of doing those stuffs.
Yeah, it is. But you're adding like complexity there because you will have to maintain not only the main branch in this case for the security part, but also all the branches that we support before that.
Yeah.
So we're talking about having like multiple changes and not just one in the main branch. While since we are releasing, we have just one release, and if there is any security concern or issue that we want to fix with a security patch, you just have to fix what you have currently now and then do a release right after.
We are actually doing the same thing that you just mentioned, that backporting the security fixes in the release branches in CapM3 already. But I didn't understand your point that adding it to main branch and having a release is easier, because as I said, for example, currently we have the last release v0.2.0, and the main has gone, let's say, 20 or 30 commits beyond that. Now, if you want to release, just a security patch has come and you have to release, you have to add that on top of the main branch and then release. So v0.2.1 would have all those, let's say, commits that have landed in main branch plus the security fixes. But for, let's say, release 1.3 of CapM3 branch, which we have said is supporting v0 2.0, then it would also take all those commits from BMO, let's say, tested. We need to test those and then make sure that those are also working for the older branches of CapM3, for example, or IPAM. If we had a branch in BMO, that would have been easier.
Well, so if we're adding changes to BMO in the main branch and we're merging them, I expect that like them to be tested.
Yeah, but as an example, check the current one where we have made a change in keep alive D game going to non-root, for example, not only keep alive D, but the ironic containers supporting the non-root, and that is backwards incompatible. And because of that, the older release branches broke. So the older release branches would only, let's say, now currently work with v0.2.0, not with main. So the CI is currently is so that it would only the release branches, let's say for 1.3 CAPM3, it would only work with v0.2.0, not with the main branch of BMO, because this change is not backwards compatible.
Yeah, I understand. This is a typical scenario for a breaking change, but I mean, not discussing this in particular, but in general, like a breaking change, like especially a big one, should be coordinated and planned probably differently. But this is just my, I mean, my point of view. Probably needs to be discussed between other people as well.
I wanted to maybe understand what is the reason of not what would be the problems if we go to the release branches now?
Well, from my perspective, it would add complexity, and we will have to maintain more things and not fewer. This is from my experience, and this is my point of view, basically. I have experience on Ironic upstream and on OpenShift downstream and more repositories as well. And dealing with multiple branches, yeah, like from a certain point of view, can simplify things because you have, in theory, stable branches that can all live together, but in practical, well, there's a lot more work and a lot more complexity behind that.
There is complexity, but if we have a well-defined, let's say, policy, like Leonard mentioned, we can say that we will only support particular release branches, and beyond that, we won't be doing any support. That is one way of doing it. And the other is that, for example, you have tools for like automated cherry picking currently. So those are also something that we are using in release branches as well for CAPM3. And we can also say that what are the commits that we would allow in the older branches, let's say. So probably the contributing document that we have in BMO already says that only security bug fixes and other critical fixes would be allowed in the older branches, so that we don't maintain it that much like we do in main branch. So we can decide on that as well, that how we want to maintain it.
Yeah, this is also a typical scenario, like a typical procedure. Like for example, in OpenStack, we allow only bug fixes and, well, security fix to be backported in stable branches, which definitely easier, like makes the entire thing much easier. Also, the idea of having just one. So what I saw that actually works better, at least again, from my perspective, in some projects that I follow and collaborate upstream, is having a development branch and just one stable branch, where you actually have then you cut releases from there. That is something that we could maybe think about that would actually work, but having multiple of them, multiple stable branches, I definitely would not suggest that. But again, I mean, this is like a huge topic, and I don't know if we should discuss it here. And I see Dimitri actually suggested to discuss that at the PTG, and I agree with him. We need to involve more people.
It's not exactly true, as you mentioned. There's also different things that play, like which projects you want to branch, how long you branch, how many branches you keep at the same time, what is the expectations around things that get backported to branch, how the CI works for branch. Like BMO is a Java problem. If ever you want to branch ironic image, and you probably do, that is going to be really hairy because it consumes RPMs that are not branched the same way as our products are branched. So there's a lot to unpack. It's good that we started this conversation now because we can now collect our thoughts, but I don't think we can just decide it. But whatever we decide, I suggest we start small.
Yeah, of course. It's not something that I want you to decide right now, but we have already brought this topic in the last community meeting. So this would be something that we would really want to have, even if one release branch, starting from like maintaining one release branch and one stable one main branch. This is also probably something that we can start with and see how it goes. And if needed, we can in future decide if we want to like support more. But for now, let's probably start thinking about it, because already, as I said, today, I think many of us were just like firefighting the CI because things were broken for older release branches. Yeah, I think the message is well put, and let's continue thinking about this. If you guys think that you need more time, we are okay with that. We can discuss it in PTG as well, and move forward on this idea. Thanks a lot for the inputs.
It could be interesting if you're really interested in this topic to try to create a proposal, like a draft proposal. I don't mean like a formal design for MetaCube docs or stuff like this, just a document which outlines how you see these things works, covering what would you expect from the timeline, what would you expect from the CI, but also like a realistic estimate of resources that are put into that, both in terms of CI and in terms of actual humans, making sure the CI doesn't break, making sure the patches are reviewed, making sure the correct patches are backported to correct branches and stuff like this.
I'm not sure if I'm going to put a proposal yet, because the idea is fairly simple, having release branches, and what are we trying to support and what not is already probably there in contributing guide. We probably need to go back, revisit that and see if we can actually edit that and add more information there.
Well, support is a vague term, right? I mean, so far we have not supported stable branches from BMO, no matter what is written in the contributor guide. Like
that's what is actually written, that we don't have any branches. So far we don't.
Right. So back to square one, right? It would be much more productive to discuss this if we could see what stakeholders actually mean under stable branches, because it can be a thing that lives until the next release and only CVEs are backported there. It may or may not include ironic image, which also can have CVEs, right? I mean, there's nothing preventing having CVEs there.
Yeah,
it's another thing if you want to, for example, to last it for 9 months, 12 months, 24 months, because then you have several branches in parallel. It's also an input to how often we release, because if every release results in a release branch, then releasing every week is going to be problematic. Every month maybe even just as well if branches live for 24 months. So there's a lot of balance, and as Ricardo mentioned, in OpenStack world, there's like religious fights about
I understand. Yeah. That is something that probably we need to decide as a whole, that how often. And you're right, if that is well defined, it makes the life easier, that how often do we need to release, and what are the like criteria for releasing. That needs to be well defined. If you want to I can open an issue in BMO and again start collecting ideas on that, because I remember I did once before. So I can reopen that issue again.
Yep, good idea. Let's start writing text.
Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. It sounds like the result is that Kashif will open a BMO PR that's where start call write others. Okay, that sounds good. Good discussion. Thanks. Okay, so is there anyone else who want to add something to this? If not, then the PTG planning. That was planned to be today's main topic. If we run out of time and we don't have time for triaging, that I don't think that's the priority at the moment. Let's try to do something with this. On the top, I will put just something about the dates, like possible dates, and try to write down something. So let's start with that. How do you feel? What would be the most inclusive time? I don't suppose that we plan it for a few weeks, like in the next few weeks. I assume that in the summer or in the autumn, I don't know. It's quite a diverse community. I don't know how people will be available.
Yeah, I'd carefully say that mid-May may be still a reasonably good time. Then the vacation period starts in June, July. July, August are pretty bad times for having any meetups.
For me, it would be probably end of May or beginning of June, something like that.
Yeah, we could start a doodle and see at least the people are in this call or in the core, so to say, core MetalCube team, when they are available. So at least, you know, have some idea how it looks between us.
Yeah, then I start, I'll continue. For me, yeah, end of May for me also doable as much as I can think ahead.
Yeah, should be same for me, I think. Ricardo suggests creating a doodle for it. That might be a good idea, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do a
also
doodle
Dimitri
like this.
mentioned that, and it's how we usually vote for these things in the ironic community, for example.
Okay. Do you have a preferred tool for doing it?
Well, the
link
link that
in chat.
Yeah, okay, you sent the link. I don't see those. 1 sec. Doodle. Okay, that's fine. So this.
But it's good to have like already some idea of when it should be. Then we can create the doodle for like specific time and date.
Okay. I guess it's a group poll. I'm just checking it out.
Yeah. Probably like sending these, like when you created a group poll, and probably like following up to the same mail thread about the PTG would be a good idea, so we can have like good visibility.
Okay. So then I will make the doodle. Okay, let me write this down. Okay, and so then what would happen is the range. So from end of May to what? To
from mid of May.
From mid of May, yeah. to the end of June. Does that sound good for everyone, or is it too wide?
It's too wide, I guess.
I think it's okay, actually. Worst months are usually July and August.
Yeah, it should be fine. The doodle will be quite big, but yeah, should be doable.
Depends also how much time did you had in mind for the PTG. It's going to be like 2 days, 3 days, an entire week. We have a lot of topics, so I guess at least 2 or 3 days is mandatory, if we discuss all of them, of course.
Yeah, I also think so, that these are quite heavy topics. So I don't assume that this would be done during one day or one event. Let's just write it here. So okay, the range, we are somewhat agreeing on that it will be somewhere between middle of May and end of June. We will put it somewhere. Let's think about that. How should we separate? No. How should we span across time with the topics? So what I mean is, it's just it's a few options, like only community meeting, back-to-back days, single day event, so I think these are the possibilities. That also could be many hours.
So when considering single day events, keep in mind that time zones may make it particularly problematic. I think if you take half a day, you get, let's put it this way. There are roughly 3 zones on the Earth, like Europe-ish, West American-ish, and East Asian-ish zones. And you can only get 2 of them. If you have half a day. If you have the whole day, essentially you are only accommodating one of the zones. So that's why for Ironic PTG, maybe you've noticed we had everything in the European afternoon. That's basically for better overlap with America. Because if you do something in the European morning, it will. So there's a bit of subtlety here. I would also, just like as a personal, from personal experience, would advise against having a too long event. Like 2-3 days is actually the top limit as well, in my view, because the whole week, I have been a lot of whole week events and people get really exhausted by Thursday. So especially those people who have to wake up at weird hours, and keep in mind there will be such people. Like Zane is in New Zealand. If he wants to participate, he'll essentially stay up at night. Or we stay up at night if we decide to do it in his time.
Yeah, if I think back to the Ironic PTG, that was quite late already for me in Europe. So, but that was still doable, at least from my perspective. I don't know, what was it, like 7, 8, 9? I don't know. So from facilitation point of view, I can do that. Go with those dates. So it's, I don't know, what was it in UTC, like 4 or 5 in UTC, when most of the events started for your PTG. I remember.
Trying to remember. I'll check the other pad. It was 2 UTC to 5 UTC.
2 to 5, yeah. I can do that. I can go do that. So facilitation wise, I'm fine with this. I can do this. But I assume looking at the topics quite a lot, so it won't be a single day event. I don't think anyone wants this to be a single day event. It's too much. At least it feels too much for me. But of course, if we start discussing the topics and you say that I don't like this, I don't like this, and we end up with 5, so it's up to the. It's related to how much we have on our plate. So let's say that this is unlikely. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to have some preparational step where it's not less like a matter of whether someone likes topics or not, but we may figure out that we're not ready to discuss some topics.
Yeah.
The honest question to ask ourselves will be, if we come to an agreement, are we ready to execute on it within the next 6 to 12 months?
Okay, that sounds like a good filter criteria. Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking that then I should make a poll for that also with the names of the agenda points. But it would be also good to a bit discuss each of these points, but then that would take a lot of time. We might go into details, and we want to leave the detailed discussion for the PTG. So what if we do something like some sort of system where we can rule out these in our own time. So rule out the topics outside of these meetings. Some way that I can see that the combined interest of the community. I'm thinking that maybe putting here comment, or maybe comment would be the clean way of doing it, because text can be deleted. It's not that transparent. Even though I see it in the history, I don't want to investigate if somebody accidentally deletes it. But if we would, like, community members would put to the title minus sign, and I don't, let's say if a topic collects 5 minus signs, then we remove it, something like this. What do you think? How to filter this?
I think some voting is probably a good idea. I wouldn't even set up like hard rules, like if it's 5 minuses, it's gone. But just make a priority list, look at its top, and see where we should probably stop. like start picking things from the top of the priority list after we do this voting, and then realize, okay, it's just enough is enough.
Okay, then let's say that I will send a poll for this, for the names of the topics, and I will set up a priority list based on how many of these got positive feedback. So if 5%, like most of the community said that we are interested in incorporating more ironic features, and this got the most plus, or I don't know, then I put it on the top. So I will build the priority list until the next community meeting, and then we discuss the list, the prioritized list. I can see that working. Yeah. How much time should we give to the community to decide what is interesting and what is not? 1 week, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Probably 2 weeks is a good good time.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 weeks also good, because some people might be away for some week, and also like there is KubeCon. So
Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe even put it 3 weeks. No, 2 should be fine.
Yeah, folks can still read a poll even. Yeah, I won't comment even when they are on these trips. Yeah, so 2 weeks then. Let's go with 2 weeks. And I will send the poll. I will write it up for myself, note it down. Send the poll. And the list. I hope this I am not use this doodle. Can this do multiple choice polls so that you can select multiple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then I can do that. Okay, so this will okay. And based on this, we will see how much topics we have and how much time it will require. So in the next mail, there will be both of the polls, both for the time frame and both for the priority list. Okay, we have 40 minutes. Is there a topic that you'd like to discuss already because you think it worth it to discuss it right now? I mean, just that clarifying that what the author meant or adding something. Of course, you can edit it anytime, but if you have any question related to any of these. These? I see, Sunat, you are highlighting topics.
I was just reading through and
okay, it's fine.
clicked some topics. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, if not, then I won't take your time with that. If it's fine with the community, I would skip the triaging this week. I don't want to hold you here. I don't think we have that many triageable topics. I will check it tomorrow myself. If there are no objections.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I'd have to drop anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there any last questions? Anything else you want to bring up? And any thing that I might have not mentioned related to the planning that you would be interested to ask already today? Okay, if there's nothing, then thank you for your time. I think we already progressed with the planning. I will send it probably tomorrow, the mails and the polls. And yeah, thank you for your time and have a nice rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.